Hello, I'm Simon Whistler, you're watching TopTenzNet, and in the video today, the top 10 weird things that are stored in giant vaults. The world is full of valuable objects their owners want to squirrel away and hide from the world lest they be stolen by ninjas, handsome men in suits, or maybe handsome ninjas in suits. In addition to gold, jewels, and old SNES games, there are some surprising things hidden deep underground in cartoonishly massive vaults, things like the 10 we're looking at in the video today. Number 10. Every Lego set ever. Hidden below the living Bob Ross painting that is Denmark is a large vault containing the granted wishes of every 12-year-old who wanted a Lego Death Star and got a box of Mega Bloks instead. Simply put, the underground facility contains, according to one article, about 5 copies of every Lego set ever made from the company's inception until the present day. Along with all the Lego sets from your childhood, the vault contains copies of rare promotional material and even copies of unique Lego sets produced for individual clients, and copies of exceptionally rare pieces that are no longer made. Due to the fact that every single piece of Lego ever made in the company's history still fits together, theoretically a person with access to the vault could combine every single set to create a singular super creation incorporating every facet of pop culture from the last 5 decades. Number 9. Paint made from mummies. Tucked away in the bowels of the Harvard Art Museum is an unusual collection known as the Forbes Pigment Collection, containing color swatches made from everything from ground-up mummies to extinct species of flower. The Forbes Pigment Collection is likely the most expansive collection of colors that's ever been created. Along with serving as a reference for artists, the Pigment Collection serves a secondary function as a historical repository for unique shades of paint that can be used to authenticate art. Sadly, the rarity of many of the paints housed in the museum means that using them is totally out of the question, which is a shame because it effectively kills our dream of drawing a huge dong using the paint created from crushed up remains of ancient and powerful pharaohs. Number 8. Napoleon's cologne. If you've ever found yourself wondering what Napoleon's armpits smelled like after he doused them in pre-industrial revolution-era cologne, well, want to know more because Osama has you covered. The Osama, or Scent Archive as it's sometimes known, is essentially a repository of every fragrance ever created or close to it, along with containing samples of virtually every modern perfume and cologne, largely because the Osama can ask for a sample of any fragrance produced in France, regardless of whether or not the formula is supposed to be a secret. It also has historical whiffs too. While perusing this vault, you can smell samples of perfumes worn by historical figures like Napoleon and Marie Antoinette, and even fragrances created from now extinct or illegal ingredients. These ingredients are often illegal because they've since been found to cause various allergic reactions and whatnot. So yes, in short, you can know what Napoleon smelled like after he took a particularly large poop and wanted to mask the smell. Number 7. Parmesan cheese. For a lot of people, Parmesan cheese and garlic bread are life. Unfortunately, one of them is considered so valuable that they have to store it in a massive vault, and it's not the garlic bread. It's the cheese. In short, in Italy, there's a special tier of Parmesan cheese called Parmigiano Reggiano that's considered to be so valuable that there's a bank that makes a fortune exclusively giving out loans against it. Basically, during the curing process for this cheese, which can take upwards of 3 years, the bank will hold it in a special air-conditioned vault, and the owner can take out a loan against this cheese to pay their staff or whatever. When the loan is paid off, the owner gets the cheese back and can sell it for a premium. The cheese contained in the Parmesan vault is valued in excess of $100 million, and the bank is hardened against everything from cybersecurity attacks to Ocean's 11-star capers. That being said, the bank has been robbed 3 times in the past, forcing a sheepish executive to admit that some bad men had broken in and stolen a bunch of their cheese. Number 6. Enough Prince music to last until the next century. Prince was an artist so prolific and talented that he frequently wrote hit songs for other artists when he was bored. The artist famously hoarded much of the music he wrote in a secret temperature-controlled vault filled to the brim with riffs, lyrics, entire songs, and even movies starring himself that he felt the world wasn't ready to handle just yet. So, according to those privy to such information, the music contained in Prince's vault was among the best ever recorded, which begs the question, well, when are we going to hear some of it? In short, the answer is that no one really knows because it's not clear what the Purple One's instructions were to his lawyers in regards to the vault's contents. This is a bit of a shame because apparently it contains enough music to give us a new Prince album every year for the next century. This means that the Prince could potentially enjoy a longer career as a ghost than he did while alive. Number 5. Every wrestling match ever. In 2013, the WWE quietly published an article discussing the fact that the company owns hundreds of thousands of tapes containing footage of nearly every professional wrestling match ever staged. Along with footage from their own archives, the WWE also owns tapes from rival companies that they've bought out, like WCW. These are tapes that remain in dusty cardboard boxes inside their giant mountain vault. Yes, we are not kidding, the tapes are really stored inside of a mountain. So these tapes are currently in the process of being digitally transcribed, and right now they're stored inside a giant bomb-proof vault inside a mountain in the Catskills. Indeed, this vault is even nuclear hardened, meaning that in the unlikely event that the world is erased in a ball of nuclear fire like that dream sequence in Terminator 2, we're still going to be able to watch Steve Austin suplex people through flaming tables. Number 4. Every piece of Scientology-related media ever. According to Scientologists, the human body is merely a vessel for an immortal alien spirit condemned to an eternity of floating through the cosmos, thanks in part to the actions of Lord Xenu, our galactic tormentor. In keeping with the idea that our spirits can live forever, Scientologists have taken to preserving their knowledge in the New Mexico desert inside of a vault hardened against world-ending threats like nuclear bombs or a meteor strike. In short, Scientologists have begun creating literal hard copies of all recorded Scientologist literature by etching it onto large stainless steel plates. These plates are in turn stored inside of titanium capsules that are designed to outlive humanity and ensure that if everyone on Earth was killed by super gonorrhea or something like that, the aliens that pick apart the wreckage of our world will be able to learn all about Scientology. Number 3. Michael Jackson music up the wazoo. Like Prince, Michael Jackson left behind an impressive amount of music that is stored inside of a big old vault that nobody was allowed to access while the singer was alive. And like with the purple one, there's enough music in MJ's vault to ensure people could enjoy new music well into the 22nd century, and nobody is really quite sure what's going to happen to it. The vault is apparently filled with both high-quality recordings of live concerts as well as endless amounts of unreleased album material, in addition to snippets of content like lyrics, riffs, and sick dance beats. In other words, there's a very good chance that right now there's more unreleased Michael Jackson material swimming around out there than there is stuff you can stream on Spotify. Number 2. Enough seeds to start over if we needed to. Money makes the world go round, but if the Fallout series has taught us anything, it's that money isn't worth all that much in a Mad Max-esque Uber apocalypse. To this end, the nations of the world have pooled their resources to create a so-called doomsday vault that contains not money and not gold, but seeds. Specifically, this is the seeds of crops and staple foods, so that we have a lasting record of the food used to feed the masses. The idea is that if the worst should happen and a strange future plague wipes out all the corn, we'll have an untouched sample of the seeds that can be used to grow it from fresh. Located just a stone's throw away from the North Pole on an island in Norway, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault is among the most secure places on Earth and could survive everything from a point-blank atomic blast to a backhand from Godzilla. Even if the facility was utterly cut off from the outside world, the vault's location would mean the seeds would remain frozen for centuries, allowing it to serve, as one operator puts it, as the ultimate insurance policy for the world's food supply. Number 1. A perfect sphere. Locked in a vault just outside of Paris is a hunk of metal intrinsically tied to the world of physics, a ball of polished platinum and iridium that, for over a century, has served as the international standard for the kilogram. The problem is that the weight of the ball, or the 40 or so copies that exist, keep changing by an almost infinitesimal amount, which isn't good for reality, which could disintegrate if the value changes too much, I assume. To fix this, eggheads have created the closest thing to a perfect sphere humanity is aware of to serve as the new standard. Created from a single crystal of silicon-28, the ball is so impossibly smooth that if it was scaled to the size of the Earth, its highest mountain would be 9 feet tall. Unlike the previous standard, the new hyper-smooth ball has a set weight due to the fact that atoms of silicon-28 are easily calculated. However, scientists aren't really sure if the ball is a perfect kilogram, so they're not sure if the ball should become the new standard. This means that somewhere out there is a vault housing a near-perfect, glistening sphere of silicon surrounded by scientific equipment. We don't know about you, but we think that the sphere should be hidden away with everything else in this video so that if the world does end, future generations will find a mysterious orb surrounded by millions of hours of footage of large, sweaty men suplexing each other while being serenaded by Prince and Michael Jackson. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below, and do not forget to subscribe. Brand new videos just like this every day of the week. Also, I've got another channel, it's called Biographics, where we dive into the life stories of people from the present day as well as throughout history. Find a link to that in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching.